Hi everybody, welcome to the live stream. I'm Tisa Blackburn and I'm your acrylic diva. We are going to do a little landscape painting here. I'm going to try to keep it to 30 minutes. If you have questions for me as I go along, put them in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from and I will try to answer your questions. Let me know if the sound is okay, is the music too loud, and so on. I'm going to actually mute it for a quick second. At least I said I was. I'm going to try to keep it to 30 minutes. If you have questions for me as I go along, put them in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from, and I will try to answer your questions. Let me know if the... Okay, I did a little sound check there, and it sounds like things sound okay. I'm going to give you a little bit more music. Hopefully that won't be too loud. Okay, let's get started painting. I'm going to go to the overhead camera, which is that one. And we are going to work on a 12 by 12 canvas. And I am going to first put down a little titanium white. I'm going to put out my palette here. Let's have some titanium white. And I'm using golden fluids, so those are in your description. Everything I'm using is in your description, so you can find what I'm using. Little quinacridone magenta, a little phthalo blue. You see I have a tiny bottle of phthalo blue because it's so powerful. Little phthalo blue. We might need a little more. And then my benzimidazolone yellow, or you could use Hansa yellow also. So let's put that out. There we go. We are having a thunder and lightning storm and rain. I hope we're not going to lose power. But if I suddenly disappear, you'll know what happened. Okay, let's start with a little bit of an underdrawing. I am going to use a Posca paint pen, and I'm just going to kind of lay in a simple composition for our landscape. So we're going to have some hills back here, like so. Probably not exactly like that. That's kind of a weird contour line. And let's have another layer of hills here. And maybe one more. Let's go like so. Okay. Now in the foreground, we're going to have a road that kind of leads in to the landscape. And we're going to have a couple of cypress trees. So let's have one here. Like so. Nice big cypress tree in the foreground. There's one. Let's have a smaller one over here. Like so. And maybe one more here. 3 is always a nice number. We'll make this one a little bit smaller. Like that. Okay. That's just giving us a rough composition. Just a rough composition. Okay. Let's start in. I've got my 3/4 inch wash brush from Princeton. I love these brushes. Nice flat brush. Titanium white. Little bit of that phthalo. Give us a little bit of sky color going on there. Just laying that down. Come back to some white. Just block it in. Don't try to make it look uniform. Give it some flavor. Let's have a little bit more of that blue over here. We'll go a little bit darker. And whenever you're working in landscape, even though we're doing a kind of an abstracted landscape, whenever you're working in landscape, you want to work from back to front. So I'm starting with my sky. I'll do my back hills next. and I don't want them to be quite so prominent. So I'm going to put a little more white into my paint. Actually, I'm going to wipe this brush, put it in the water, and I'm going to go to my round, which is my, this is my Princeton Acrylic number 12, and these are all in your description, so you can find those. Now let's block in our back hills here. I am going to kind of have those be a very light blue. I want them to be kind of in the background. So I'm going to make them a light blue. Let's gray them down a little bit. We'll make them kind of pink. Little on the purple side. And just a dab of that yellow, just to kind of gray them down a tiny bit. So we want them kind of light, you know? We want them in the background. We don't want them taking over our foreground. So we'll just have them back there. Let's get them a little bit bluer. That phthalo is so powerful, you really have to watch it. And I'm just blocking them in. We're going to have trees on top of them. They may be so light you probably almost can't see them on the screen. Let me see, do we have questions? Okay, I don't see any questions yet. Let me know if you have them. Let's have another hill over here, like so. And you know, I could clean up that sky a little bit. I got a little messy with the sky. Let's get a little bit more interesting sky going on here. I painted right over one of my trees. That's okay, we can come back and fix that up later. Okay. I'm going to need these hills to be a little bit more, have a little more contrast to the sky. Otherwise, they're just going to fall right back into the sky. So I've got a little purple going here. Get a little hints of yellow to gray that purple down. Kind of a nice gray-blue. And let's get a little of that titanium white. That's better. That's got us a little more contrast. There we go. That's much better. And see, they don't pop forward. They'll just remain in the background because they'll have that gray color to them. I'm painting right over my trees. So yeah, those guys are going to recede back there. Now let's have some more vibrant color here because we want these hills to kind of pop forward. So I'm going to wash my brush and I'm going to go into the Hansa yellow, get a little of that Quin magenta. I may pick up some of this gray here. Let's grab a little titanium white. We get a kind of a nice ochre going. That's pretty. Let's put that down. Oh, I like that. Yeah, that works really well. We're going to lay that down. I always like to mix on the canvas rather than on the palette because you get better colors. You get a more interesting mixture. Okay. Yeah, I really like that color. It's a nice, kind of a nice ochre color. All right. Now in the foreground, let's go similar color, but let's go lighter. So I'm just pulling in some titanium white. Let's go a little bit lighter. And I'm just going to let my brush have a good time here. I'm not going to worry too much about mixtures and stuff like that. I want a real expressive landscape. So I'm just going to have a good time with that white, Hansa yellow, some really nice brush strokes. Pick up a little bit of that gray mixture that I had there. Okay, looking pretty good. Let's go to the other side. I'm going to go a little more orange on the other side, a little redder. Let's go a little, shift that color a little bit. Over here. And see, I'm just painting right over those trees. We're going to bring those guys back. You don't have to worry about it. And I actually have to paint my road too. I actually should have painted my road before I painted my land, but oh well. I'll come back and do that in a minute. I want my road to lay down under the land. So it has to really should have gone down first. Now don't forget, if you have questions, you can just ask me questions as we go along, because I have been trained by Golden Artist Colors. I've got a lot of experience with acrylics, chemistry, painting, all that kind of good stuff. So if you have questions, let me know, and I'll try to answer them. Now my road, I want my road to be purple. Don't ask me why, but I was just in the mood for a purple road. So I've got my Quin Magenta and my Phthalo. I'm making a dark purple here. I'm going to pull a little titanium white into it. That's a little too blue. Let's get a little more Quin Magenta. There we go. That's more what I had in mind. And I'm just going to lay this down. I think I'll just mix right on the canvas because I'm not getting the color I want. Let's go like that. Oh yeah, much better. Let's just lay that down. Get a little Quin Magenta in there for flavor. These brushes are so great. They do the work for you. You really don't have to do anything. Let the brush do it. Okay. So I've got my road down there. And as you can see, this has kind of got a Matisse sort of feel to it because I don't have any dimension between my road and the land. You know, they look like cut out paper, right? Which is fine, but I can come back and do some things with my land so that it lays down on top of my road as it should. So I'll do that in a minute. We'll put some things on the edge there. I just had a hankering for a purple road. Let's fix this guy up right here. Okay, so let me know where you are watching from. Put that in the chat so I can say hello to you. I'm going to make some green for my trees now. Let's see, is this dry enough? Yeah, that's dry. So I've got a little Hansa yellow, a tiny bit of phthalo, gives me a green. I'm going to put a tiny bit of Quin Magenta over here, and that gives me kind of a more muted green. Make it a little darker. I'm going to grab some of my Hansa and bring it down here so I can kind of play with that. So let's start here. I like to build my trees kind of like this. You know, just kind of build them up. Let's get a little more of that phthalo. And the nice thing about doing them this way is that a lot of this paint is still wet. So I can kind of dab my trees here without bringing up that paint that's underneath. Now I'm going to come back and create a brown trunk. Do that in a minute. Let's have a little bit more interest in our tree. Okay. So I'm going to my smaller number 8. Is this a number 8 or a 10? This is number 8 aquarelle from Acrylic from Princeton. Make a little brown with, let's start with Hansa yellow, a little coin magenta, make it kind of an orangey. Grab a little phthalo, throw that in there. We get a dark, kind of, it could be burnt umber, burnt sienna. Well, no, it's not red enough to be burnt sienna, but somewhere it's dark. It's not black, but it's dark. So we'll just kind of pop that in there. It gives us a little dark for our tree trunk. And let's get that tree a little out here a little bit. It was a little too regular. There we go, that's better. Okay, let's see, what are we missing? Oh, our trees in front. Okay, we've got 2 more trees to do. And we have been painting for 17 minutes. So I'm trying to keep these to half an hour. See if we can paint a landscape in half an hour. Can we do it? So here is my big tree. I'm going to start here. And you know, before I paint that tree, you know, I'm gonna work on my land back here a little bit. Seems a little one note back there. And I've got this really nice brown on my brush from the tree trunk. So I'm gonna put a little interest back here. A little bit of that brown. Let's grab a little Hansa yellow. Just, it seemed like a little bit of a one note back there, you know? Let's do some stuff over here. Now I've already painted my trees, so obviously if I fiddle around too much, I'll have to come back and work on my tree, but let's see if I can juicy it up a little bit without making too big a mess. I really like that brown that I made. I'm trying not to get carried away with it. It's easy to do though. Okay. Well, there's a little bit more interest there in our hillside. It seemed a little flat to me. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit more interest. Okay, much better. These guys are completely disappearing. So I have a way to fix that. We'll work on the sky. We'll do something to the sky here. We need a little contrast. So those gray hills there don't have enough contrast. So we're going to have to really do something to our sky. And what I think we'll do, put some titanium white out. Let's push our sky over to the turquoise range. Right now it's just kind of a blah blue. Let's get a nice, kind of like a New Mexico sky. So we'll make a turquoise. Grab that phthalo, that titanium white in there, and a tiny bit of that Hansa. Let's jump it over there to that turquoise. That kind of pretty turquoise that you see in New Mexico all the time. Oh, much better. I hope you can see that on your screen. I'm going to give you a little bit darker here, just so you can get that contrast. And once again, I'm painting around my tree. I may have to do a little repair work there, but it wouldn't be the first time. I like that much better though. The contrast is much better. And again, I'm just grabbing the paint. I'm not going to worry about this tree because I haven't painted it yet. But I'm just grabbing the paint, putting it on the canvas, and kind of mixing it on the canvas. And let's come up to this tree here. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of get away with murder. That is a much better sky. Much better sky. Yeah, it's got a lot more flavor. We can go a little darker over here. Let's go a little darker. Maybe it's a little stormy over here. Give that mountain a nice contour line. There we go. Much better, much better. Okay. All right, we're 22 minutes in. I only have 8 minutes left to finish this. I'm going to be pushing it to do that. Let's get this big tree done. All right, we've got our Hansa. Got my phthalo here. I'm going to need a fair amount of this because it's a good sized tree. I'm going to start with this green, and I'm just going to come straight down the middle like this. That kind of gives me a way to plan my tree. I'll just start there. And then we'll work backwards. Okay, work backwards. Get the basic structure down there. Okay, he's leaning a little bit, isn't he? Okay, let's get him sorted out here. All right. Now I can start doing some interesting things with my brush. Be sure you don't use all one color. Okay, he's okay. He could be straighter, but I mean it's a tree, so you know. There was a massive windstorm last night, so there were lots of trees in my neighborhood that were actually very crooked. So he's in good shape here. All right, he's looking okay. Smaller tree guy, let's work on you. Let's have a little lighter color here, maybe just a touch of titanium white over here. Just dab, dab, dab with your paintbrush. Little phthalo. I'm going to pick up a little purple because I've just got it and it works. Okay, and purple is a little bit strong there. Let's put a little yellow on top of it. Give it that little cypress top knot that they have. Okay, so far so good. All right. Now let's have a little work on our road. And let's see for our, oh, we need to do our tree trunks, don't we? So let's make a brown. Little, I've got a little green thing happening here. I'll grab a little Quin Magenta. That'll give me a brown. Just a little bit. That's not really dark enough. Let's grab a little bit of that purple I made. That'll do it. Yep, there we go. That'll get us a nice dark, almost black. There, now they look like they actually live on the ground. And if we have time, I'll put a couple of little cast shadows there, if we have time. Okay, let's do something with our land here, because our land doesn't look like it's sitting on top of the road. So I think I'm going to bring this dark back that I had, and I'm going to just block in a little bit of dark here real quickly. I'm just going to take my finger, just like so, just to give it a little shadow. And let's come back on top of that. Oops, I got green. I don't want green. I want a little, turn my palette around so I can get a clean spot here. Now I've got purple. I think we need clean hands of yellow. That's part of the problem. Okay. There we go. I hope your brain thinks the road is a river. It could be a river. Totally could be a river. I was in the mood for a purple road today, so, you know, what can I say? It could be a river. If you want it to be a river, it's a river. Totally could be a river. And I'm going to grab a little bit of that dark and come over here with it. Yeah, that works. That's fine. Now what I'm going to do, take a little bit of water, come in here, soften this up a little bit. Hope is here from Reno. Awesome. You guys have snow up there? We just had the craziest thunderstorm. It was crazy. You love purple. It's kind of my favorite color. I love purple. Crazy about purple. Let's see, what was I going to do? Oh, I'm going to work on the road. But first I'm going to, well, yeah, I guess I'll work on the road first. So let's get a little bit of some purpley colors going here. Where'd my phthalo blue go? Am I out of phthalo blue? Do I need some more? That doesn't happen very often, that I actually have to put more phthalo blue out. That's almost never happens. Okay. There we go. I've got some purples and stuff going here. And I'm gonna fancy up my road a little bit, because it's just, you know, it was like blah. You don't have any in Reno? It melted? It's in the 50s? Oh my goodness. I'm in Southern California and it's in the 50s down here, and I feel like, you know, where's the sunshine? Where'd the sunshine go? I miss the sunshine. Okay, so as we get back there, we'll get a little bit more blue. Grab a little bit of that Quin Magenta. Just make our road more interesting. You know, it was just super blah. Okay, there we go. I'm a lot happier with that now. Just so it shows some, you know, activity. And that's why these brushes are so great. They're just, they give you this really nice texture, you know, nice brush strokes. Okay, how about, let's go up here a little bit more with that Quin Magenta too. All right, now we're talking. Now our road looks like a road or a river, depending. So let's put some stuff along the either riverbank or roadside, whichever one you want. We'll put some things along there, some growing type stuff. I'll start with some Hansa. I grab a little bit of that purple. And I'm just going to come in here and give these little weed things just a little bit of stuff here. We'll start like that. In the foreground, let's have them a little bigger, like so. And as they go back here, they'd be smaller, obviously. Just brush strokes, nothing fancy, just give yourself some, you know, a little vegetation thing happening there. I actually, before I do that, whoops, I really should have, I am down in Orange County, Hope. I'm down here in Orange County, and where it's usually sunny, but not today. Where's my brown? Do I have any of that left? Yeah. I want some of this. I want to make a cast shadow, but I want it really faint. So let's go here. And we'll go here. Put a little yellow in it. There. I'm trying to get kind of a brown, a really soupy brown, and I have almost none of this on my brush. And I'm just going to come over to the end of my, should have done this before I did my little vegetation, but oh well. So I'm just doing these really kind of soft little cast shadows. And then I'm going to take a paper towel and just blot them so they're not too strong. Blot them. Blot, blot, blot. Super faint. That's why you don't want them to be too strong. Just make sure that they meet at the bottom of the tree. And so we have a little bit of cast shadow there. This guy needs one too. A little bit of cast shadow. This is going to be a little bit longer. Make sure they're not too strong. I'm going to fuzz him out. There we go. A little bit of fuzz. Fuzz it with your finger. Because you don't want it to be too noticeable. You know, and we're not actually working representationally per se, so. Okay, I'm 34 minutes behind time here, so I better get going. Okay, I'm mixing up some kind of earth colors. Using that brown that I used for the cast shadow. Pull that in here. And then over here, we'll go lighter. Hansa yellow, titanium white. Let's see if that's light enough. Get a little bit of that brown in it. That might be a little bit too light. There, that's pretty good. Like a sage color almost. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of rainy weather, Hope. I mean, thunder and lightning. It was crazy. I actually thought there was somebody jumping around on the roof. I was like, what is going on? Crazy stuff. The weather is just wacko, and my backyard looks like a swimming pool. Okay, I'm just making little vegetation type stuff here. That's all. I'm going to actually pat a little bit with my brush so it's a little thicker here on this side. Okay, that's about it for vegetation. I don't want to overdo it. Now wash my brush really good. Actually, I'm not going to use this brush. I'm going to use a funny bristle brush. And let's get a little Quin Magenta, little titanium white, and I'm just going to pounce that. Just pounce it. Let's make it a little lighter. I think we need a little more contrast there, a little bit darker maybe. There we go. Just pounce it. You can change up that color, put a little white in there, make it real light. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? It's good to see you. Are you still painting, I hope? We were painting together, oh, years ago up in Walnut Creek. That takes me back. So I'm just pouncing these little guys with my brush, making little flower-like shapes. And we didn't get it done in 30 minutes, we got it done in 37. But there's our little landscape. Our 37-minute landscape. There we go. And you know, these guys could be a little, my hills back there could be a little more prominent, but it's kind of nice that they fade into the background like that. Yeah. So that's our 37-minute, landscape. I'm going to put it on a split screen. So there we go. Okay, so you can see that. And now don't forget that we have Saturday classes as well on Zoom. We've got Saturday classes. Also, if you like this, be sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm doing these on Fridays now. And you'll probably see this. I will chop it up and put it into a short. It'll play in about a minute, and a speeded up version. So check back with me next Friday. We'll be doing these on Fridays, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, you're welcome, Hope. You're so welcome. There's a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel that you can go and take a look at and paint along and do that kind of good stuff. And I will see you guys next Friday, and we'll try to do a 30-minute painting. I'm trying to do 30-minute paintings. Just remember, if you do 30-minute paintings, you can do a lot of them, and the more you do, the better you get. So have a great weekend, and remember what I always say, keep painting. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.